Today, Earth experiences one of its most remarkable annual events. For millions of people across the Northern Hemisphere, this is the longest day of the entire year. In some places near the Arctic Circle, the sun barely sets at all, and in a few regions, daylight continues through the night. Every year, the summer solstice attracts global attention. Astronomers track it, photographers wait for it, travelers plan trips around it, and ancient monuments built thousands of years ago still align with it perfectly today. But why does this happen? Why does one day become longer than all the others? And why are people around the world suddenly searching for the summer solstice 2026? Let's break it down. To understand why this became such a huge story, we first need to understand what actually happened. The summer solstice occurs when the Northern Hemisphere is tilted most directly toward the sun. In 2026, the June solstice occurs on June 21st and marks the official beginning of astronomical summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Earth's axis is tilted about 23.5 degrees, and at this moment the North Pole reaches its maximum tilt toward the sun. As a result, the Northern Hemisphere receives its greatest amount of daylight for the year. The sun appears highest in the sky. The daylight period reaches its annual maximum. At the same time, the Southern Hemisphere experiences the opposite event. For countries south of the equator, this is actually the shortest day of the year and the beginning of astronomical winter. The event is not caused by Earth being closer to the sun. In fact, Earth reaches its farthest point from the sun in early July, only weeks after the solstice. What people are witnessing is the result of Earth's tilt, not its distance from the sun. But that alone doesn't explain why the internet became obsessed with this story. The real reason lies beneath the headlines. What turned a predictable astronomical event into a global conversation? Three things happened. First, the summer solstice is something almost everyone can observe. Unlike distant galaxies or complex scientific discoveries, people can simply walk outside and notice the extended daylight. Second, social media amplifies the experience. Photos of sunrises, sunsets, golden hour landscapes, and midnight sunlight spread rapidly across platforms. Third, the event connects science with culture. People are fascinated by the idea that ancient civilizations understood and celebrated this phenomenon thousands of years before modern astronomy existed. Interest also spikes because of famous locations. Places such as Stonehenge attract enormous attention as people gather to watch the sunrise align with ancient structures that were built with remarkable astronomical awareness. For many people, the summer solstice is where science, history, travel, and culture all intersect. However, public attention is only one side of the story. The bigger question is what this actually means. The summer solstice may feel like a single day, but its story began billions of years ago. Earth's tilted axis is responsible for the changing seasons. Without that tilt, many parts of the world would experience a dramatically different climate. Agriculture would change. Weather patterns would change. Even human civilization might have developed differently. For thousands of years, people depended on understanding seasonal cycles. Farmers used the movement of the sun to guide planting and harvesting. Ancient monuments across Europe, Asia, and the Americas reveal how carefully societies observed the sky. The summer solstice became one of humanity's earliest astronomical markers. Even today, scientists continue studying seasonal changes because they influence ecosystems, migration patterns, energy consumption, and climate systems. This is far more than an interesting calendar date. It is a reminder that Earth's position in space shapes everyday life. And that brings us to perhaps the most important question of all. What happens next? From this point onward, daylight in the Northern Hemisphere gradually begins to decrease. The change is extremely small at first. Most people will not notice it, but astronomically, the turning point has arrived. The sun has reached its northernmost position in the sky and will slowly begin moving southward again. Another important fact often surprises people. The summer solstice is not the hottest day of the year. Temperatures usually continue rising for weeks afterward because the oceans and land keep absorbing and storing heat. Scientists call this seasonal lag. Over the coming months, the Northern Hemisphere will move toward the September equinox. Day and night will gradually become equal once again. But before we finish, there's one final takeaway that everyone should remember. Even if you never follow astronomy news, the summer solstice still affects your life. Here's why. The changing seasons influence agriculture. They influence travel patterns. They influence energy demand. They influence tourism. They even affect how people spend their leisure time. For photographers, this period provides extended golden hour lighting. For travelers, it creates opportunities to experience midnight sunlight in northern regions. For scientists, it offers valuable observations about Earth's relationship with the sun. And for everyone else, it provides a reminder that we are living on a dynamic planet moving through space at incredible speed. The summer solstice helps connect everyday life to the larger universe around us. And that's exactly why this story became one of the most searched topics today. So today we learned the summer solstice marks the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. It happens because of Earth's 23.5-degree axial tilt, and it has been observed and celebrated by human civilizations for thousands of years. While it may seem like a simple astronomical event, it reveals something profound about our planet. The seasons, the climate, the rhythm of life itself, all are connected to Earth's journey around the sun. The story of the summer solstice is still unfolding every year, and every year it reminds us that even familiar events can reveal extraordinary science. So here's our question for you. If you could witness one natural phenomenon anywhere in the world, what would it be? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want daily explanations of the world's most searched and talked about stories, please like, share, and subscribe to 2230. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.